Howdy folks, Papa Joe here again. I want to talk to you a little bit about hours of service. That's what our government calls it. It's the way that they use to keep track of how many hours a truck driver works. As all things with our government, in the beginning it was a good thing, but it kind of got abused and kind of jacked up. It's a little bit hard to explain. A lot of truck drivers out here just don't understand it. We work off of a 8-day cycle. We are allowed to drive 70 hours in an 8-day period. Now, we're only allowed 14 hours a day. And out of that 14 hours, we can drive 11. So that leaves us 3 hours there. That 3 hours, it can be used up on off duty or on duty or sleeper berth, whatever. When you fuel, you're supposed to log your fueling as on duty, not driving. That comes off of your 70 hours. When you're at a shipper or a receiver, you're supposed to log that. You're checking in, not the whole time there, but you're checking in as on duty, not driving. That comes off your 70 hours. Now on your 11-hour day, both of those, the fuel and the checking in or breakdowns, whatever, this stuff comes off of your 14. Now, dadgummit, someone's sending messages, sorry, off your 14. So once you have used up your 3 extra hours, because you can drive 11 out of 14, if you tie up 4 hours with a breakdown of fuel, blah, 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 then it starts taking away from your 11 hours driving time, cutting into our profit or into our money, however you want to say it, which we don't make all the money that people think we do. Off of your 70, you have 8 days there. So if today I got to drive 11 hours straight, which don't happen very often that you can actually drive 11 hours. Oh, and also on that 14-hour day, let me back up a little bit. On that 14-hour day, you have to take a 30-minute break before 8 hours of your day is used up. So technically you don't have 14 hours, you got 13 and a half, and you got to take a half-hour break. Now, off of taking it off that 70 again, excuse me, what I worked today, let's say I drove 11 hours. Like I said, that don't happen, but we'll say it for math. Let's say I spent 15 minutes fueling, 15 minutes at a dock. So that's 30 minutes there. So today I have worked and drove 11 and a half hours. That comes off of my 70. So when I start working tomorrow, I don't have 70 hours no more. I have 68 and a half. Then whatever I do tomorrow will come off that 68 and a half. And it keeps doing that through the 8 days until you run out of hours, which is what happened to me out here. On day 8, I barely had enough hours off my 70 to deliver my load and come back to this truck stop. My dispatcher and myself, he was looking at different loads. We was looking at what hours that I would regain. It's called recoup. The way that works is the 8 days is a rolling 8 days. So every day you have a new 8-day schedule. Tomorrow would be my 8th day for tomorrow. count back 8 days, or 7 plus tomorrow, which would put you last Wednesday, I guess. And you keep doing a recovery like that. So if you have not just burned up all your 70 hours, because you can do the math, you can't work 10 hours a day and not burn up your 7 hours or your 70 hours in 8 days. It just don't work that way. If you've had difficulties in your day where you're not getting to use up all your time and your 14 hours is up, or you're sitting around waiting on load, whatever, you can do your math. All right, this is what I've worked for 8 days. Here's tomorrow. Well, that just moved this up 1 day. Well, that many days ago, how many hours did I work that day? Well, let's say I had 7 hours driving and 2 hours on duty not driving. That's 9 hours. So the next day I have 9 hours to work. It's really not complicated if you keep track of it and you understand it. Some people just have a problem with that rolling 8 days. So that's a scenario of it. Now, if you do like I did and I ran out of my 70 hours, we do what's called a 34-hour restart. That is where you get a 10-hour break plus 24 hours off. 34 hours. Once you do your 34 hours, which mine will be up at 10 o'clock tonight, my logbook time, I'll have in a 34-hour break. Now all of a sudden I have my whole 70 hours again because I had the required break in there. I had a 34-hour restart. So now all that stuff was talking about before, that goes by the wayside. Now I start on a fresh 70. That is what a lot of companies and a lot of drivers like doing, because it simplifies the math and it takes human error out of if they're trying to run that recap. And like I said, some people really have a hard time with it. But that's hours. The hours of service for a truck driver. So now you know how many hours we're allowed to work legally in a week. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Hope you understand a little bit about my career out here. God bless, and y'all have a great day now.